Hey there, everybody. Pardo here. Welcome to another episode of concert reviews here on the channel on Sea of Tranquility. Like to kind of bring you these whenever we do get to go see something live, and of course, as we all know, in recent COVID-19 times, hasn't been a lot of concert going at all. But I did manage to see the third show since COVID started just this past weekend at the Paramount Theater in Middletown, New York, here in Orange County, New York, in the Hudson Valley, alongside from the Hudson Valley Squares, Ryan Scow and Nick Franco. We got to see Blue Oyster Cult. All right, Blue Oyster Cult, the long-standing hard rock band from the New York area, from Long Island originally, coming back here to Middletown for the first time in a number of years. But they have played here in the Hudson Valley fairly frequently in recent years. This is probably like the third time I've caught them over the last, 5, 6, 7 years. So this was on the 11th of December, again at the old Paramount Theater. We've got a lot of these old theaters here in the Hudson Valley. There's one in Tarrytown, there's one in Suffern, there's one in Peekskill, and we have one in Middletown, which is like an old style movie theater. Okay, with the big stage and the big screen, the balcony, right, and the floor seating orchestra area. Probably holds, 1,500, 2,000 people, something like that, right, is my guess. Probably 1,500 is probably pushing it. But really, very comfortable, very old school, nice seats, whatever. So this happened to be on Saturday night. Unfortunately, it was also the same night that Dokken was playing at the Chance in Poughkeepsie, New York. So I think all of the hard rock fans and metal fans probably went to that one because George Lynch was joining Dokken for a handful of songs in that set. So that was kind of a big deal, understandably so. But for those of us that didn't go to Dokken, we went to Blue Oyster Cult. Unfortunately, that didn't really help the turnout because there was probably only maybe about 250, 300 people at the Paramount, which is really sad. I've seen, other shows there. I saw Kansas there a few years ago, and if it wasn't sold out, it was pretty close to it. But not a great turnout for this evening, and the weather was kind of crappy too, which didn't help. And it's a Saturday night, and it's Christmas season. I'm sure people are out shopping and doing all that sort of thing, and COVID is still happening. So not surprising that there wasn't a ton of people there in the house, but, they did a really great job with as far as making sure everybody got parking. You had to show your vaccination card and wear a mask through the whole performance. So it was very the way they handled everything, getting you in there, getting you to your seats and in and out and all that kind of stuff. It worked out really, really well. As far as the set goes, so the band came on just shortly after 8 o'clock. In Middletown, New York, there is a 10 o'clock curfew for music events and things like that, so they only had 2 hours to play. Normally, when you see, one of these older bands like this, usually 90 minutes, maybe an hour 45 is about as much as you get, but Blue Oyster Cult, BOC, had a full 2 hour plus show plan. And if you look at any of their set lists from the previous shows on this tour, they actually played a little bit more than what we got last Saturday due to the curfew at 10 o'clock. So probably about 2 songs out of their set they had to chop out because of the curfew and because they went on a little bit after 8, not exactly at 8 o'clock. So they came right out and played 2 songs from their first album, Transmaniacon MC and Before the Kiss, a Red Cap, which was really cool to hear. I mean, this was, for me, I've seen BOC numerous times, this was a great set because they mixed in a lot of songs that I either haven't heard them play live before or haven't heard them play in quite a long time. So that started it off. Then we had That Was Me, the Big Heavy Bruiser from The Symbol Remains, their most recent album. We did get a few songs from The Symbol Remains, which is kind of cool, went over really well. Then the classic Golden Age of Leather. All right. Throughout most of the set, I noticed that Buck probably sang maybe, I wouldn't say 75%, but maybe like 60% of the songs. Eric sang the others, and you had Richie sang one song. So it was definitely, the set list was more in favor of the Buck Dharma sung tunes. But Eric sounded really good. They both sounded really good. The whole band sounded great. The sound was fantastic this evening. The guitars sounded clean and clear, heavy when needed. The drums sounded fine. The vocals all were perfect. The keyboards, the whole 9 yards. After Golden Age of Leather, one of their early classics, you had "Burning for You." One of their other 3 radio hits. Really, I mean, they've had a couple others, but the bigger hits were all 3 were played tonight. After that, you had "Career of Evil." Really cool to hear that. Hadn't heard that in a little bit. Then, of course, you got "Harvest Moon." Great, accessible, kind of, dreamy track from one of their later albums. Then you had The Vigil from the Mirrors album, which was really cool. And I got the impression that song was a late addition to the set, because right before they played that, Eric kind of walked over to Richie Castellano and said something to him, and then they motioned over to the other guys, to the band, to Buck and everybody else, and they then went into The Vigil. They introduced it, so I'm guessing that song was rehearsed, but not, they hadn't been playing it recently. I have to go back and check the set list. But that was really cool to hear. It was really, really great. From there, we got the classic ETI, Extraterrestrial Intelligence. Seen them play that many, many times. That was pretty cool. Then you had a couple of new tunes from The Symbol Remains. "Box in My Head." There's a box in my head, in my head. Good, catchy song. More of a pop song, right? Not really much of a hard rocker, but I like it. I love the melody, and it's just fantastic. Then they played "Train True," Lenny's song from the new album. Not one of my favorites from the new album. I really love that new Blue Oyster Cult album, or newer Blue Oyster Cult album. That's probably one of my least favorite songs on the album. It's more of kind of like a bluesy boogie rave up type of thing. Richie's brother came out and played a little harmonic at the beginning, but it's fun. But there are other songs I would have liked to have heard. And as it turns out, they have been playing The Alchemist on the tour, which is the big, heavy, kind of doomy track on the album, and they did not play that this evening. Instead, we got that one, and then I think The Alchemist has been in the long encore, which we did not get a long encore at this particular show. After that came, for me, probably the whole concert kind of showstopper for me in this particular show. Then came "The Last Days of May," which was absolutely fantastic. It included a barn burner of a guitar solo from Richie Castellano, and then an equally amazing guitar solo from Buck Dharma. I mean, this song was all about the long guitar jams. Face-melting stuff. Unbelievable. I mean, one after another, and it was just like, holy cow. We all know how great Buck Dharma is. Let me tell you, Richie Castellano is a fantastic, fantastic beast of a guitar player as well. After that came "Hot Rails to Hell." All right. Then we got Buck's Boogie. Very cool. Get Buck do his thing for a little bit, right? From there, they played a really heavy version of Godzilla, which was a lot of fun. Then Buck went back to do this little noodly thing. It was like this little kind of guitar, kind of instrumental, so to speak, and that led into "Don't Fear the Reaper." Okay, of course, because you got to play "Don't Fear the Reaper." They didn't play it last, amazingly enough. Then they went off the stage, they came back, and then they played the excellent "Dancing in the Ruins," which is a really, really good song from the Club Ninja album, which I totally did not expect for an encore. I'm surprised they didn't save "Don't Fear the Reaper" for last. But we didn't. There were other songs we didn't get. "No Astronomy," no "Cities on Flames," right? A couple of the tracks might have been good to hear. Would have loved to hear another one or two, "Tainted Blood" from the new album, certainly "The Alchemist." But because of the kind of the curfew, we got kind of cheated out of one or two songs, which, whatever, it is what it is. But quite frankly, I would have rather, them take out the noodle thing, the little 3-4 minute Buck piece, because we've actually heard a lot of guitar solos throughout the course of the evening. Put another song in there. That would have been cool. I would have, swapped out the Train song for something else off the new album. But otherwise, really can't complain with anything in this set. It was, old and new stuff mid-period stuff. There's a couple of more obscure tracks from some of the... I was very happy with it. And let me tell you, the sound was great. It was loud, but not too loud. All right? And very clear. Like I said, the guitars had the thunder when needed. They were, more nice and clean when needed to be. You heard all the guitar solos. The keyboards came through, the bass, the drums, the whole 9 yards. Very, very well done by the guys. And vocally, they all of them sounded really, really good. I've been to previous BOC shows over the last, like 5 years or so. And on some nights, Eric kind of sounds a little hoarse and sometimes Buck a little bit. But man, they sounded quite good last Saturday night. So it was good to see the boys in Blue Oyster Cult again. It was also good to see my Hudson Valley Squares buddies, as well as I did run into a few other friends that I hadn't seen in a little while. So really cool night out. I just wish the turnout was a little bit better for the band. But, it is what it is. We're living in weird times now. So it's the way it goes, but chalk it up to another great concert memory. So thanks for watching, everybody. Visit us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, of course, we're here on YouTube all the damn time. If you have seen Blue Oyster Cult in recent memory, or maybe you were at the show and I just didn't see you the other day, please put that in the comments. Let us know about your recent experiences with the band out on the road at a concert venue near you. And if you have the opportunity to go see the Mighty BOC live in the very near future, go out and support them. Tickets are pretty affordable, and they're still really bringing it live. Really great set list that covers most of the bases, which is what it's all about, right? So thanks for watching. I am Pete Pardo. We'll see you real soon here on the channel, all right? Take care. Bye-bye.